All right, a little education there. The Iroquois Confederacy was made up of 5 major nations, total of 6, but the 6th one was kind of like the little brother nation. From east to west, from Albany to Buffalo, they go Mohawk, they go Oneida. You guys are right in the blend of Mohawk-Oneida territory. Then comes Onondaga, then comes Cayuga, and then comes Seneca. Raise your hand if at least some of those words are familiar to you. All right, we've got some people from Mohawk, New York, so that's named after the Mohawk Indians. So it just so happens that Sir William Johnson, who we alluded to before, the most powerful man in the entire North America, died in 1774, 2 years before we declared our independence. If anybody's a fan of alternative history, I would love to have discussion about exploring what would have been the difference in the outcome of our war if he had lived. That's how powerful he was, in my opinion. Humble opinion. He was smart. He courted the Mohawks right from the beginning because we had to encourage the Indians to stay on our side, otherwise they would side with the French, who are our enemies, because when we first colonized North America, it was the English against the French, remember that? 2 most powerful nations, England and France. Who finally won? The English. And it was largely due to the fact that Sir William Johnson courted the Mohawks, so much so that, see, the 2 most warring factions were the Eastern Door and the Western Door. That's the Mohawks on the east, the Seneca on the west. They were the most warring factions. The middle was Onondaga. That was the council center, Syracuse, New York. That's where everybody would come if they had big meetings. And of course, it's a matriarchal society, so the sachems, as I'm told it's properly pronounced, people could know them as sachems, but I've heard from what I consider enough reliable sources to say that it's sachems, or chiefs, were the males that had to get permission from the clan mothers to go to war. And so Joseph Brant, part of our story, was not technically a chief or a sachem, but he was a war captain. And he was schooled and taken under Sir William's wing, personally, because he was intelligent, he was charismatic, he was a natural leader, he was smart. Well, I said he was intelligent. Smart, same thing. He was sent to the Eliezer Wheelock School in Lebanon, Connecticut, a private school, boarding school for boys, to be Christianized. So he came back speaking the English language as well as he did Mohawk. Likewise, the converse happened. Sir William Johnson learned the Mohawk language in 2 years, and his property was known to be infiltrated, literally, with Mohawks, male, female children, both inside and out, on a constant basis. So there was many councils held at Sir William Johnson's house, known as Johnson Hall now, up in Johnstown, right? Anybody been there? Mm-hmm. Great. So now you have a further connection to that great house. Does anybody know about Old Fort Johnson? Old Fort Johnson was one of Sir William's houses too, but it was built before the big one. 1749, which is in Fort Johnson, New York, right outside of Amsterdam, right on Route 5S. Really nice historic site. So Sir William originally started on the south side of the river, moved to the north side of the river, and finally ended up on Johnson Hall, built in 1763. Remember I recommended you visit General Herkimer's home? Right off exit 29A. It's a brick structure in great condition as well. It was built in 1764 by the same architect. So that tells you the wealth that Nicholas Herkimer had in the valley. That's why I think that Drums Along the Mohawk is a quintessentially American story. Why does it matter what ilk you are a patriot and proud to be an American, are you not? Yes. And it's also the triumph of the little guy. Here's the guy, oldest of 12 children, could hardly speak German, but he became a successful merchant and was able to afford a house that rivaled Sir William Johnson in 1764. When he passed away, he's buried on his own property, and the state site has put some intense research into Maria's room. So Melody here plays Herkimer's young second wife. Herkimer was about 51 when he married his second wife, Maria. His first wife was named Maria too. And they had no children of their own, so their community was their children. And he was a father figure. He did have slaves, but he was a benevolent and humble man. So he's a great hero figure. So we have a quintessential American story, don't we? And it's right here in your backyard. So I invite you to spread the word and get your friends and family up here to the show in August, if not the second race in July.